welcome to a little bit of the discussion video. First off, hopefully you enjoy the better lighting. Long overdue, but let's get on to it. So, Apple have basically done something so weird and ridiculous that it's just absurd. Now, it was rumoured about a month ago that Apple would be shutting down all of its services, like blocking them from iOS 11.0 users to 11.2.6, which is ridiculous. And by that does include the App Store. And as of yesterday, that has happened. This is on 11.2.6. So if we go into the App Store, it'll just say cannot connect to the App Store. It just does that, and then when I first opened it, it also came up with a notification about this, and apparently Siri's not supposed to work, well, won't work eventually. I don't know. And yeah, I think it's still working, really. Maybe if I do like open Roblox on the App Store.
Okay, searching for Roblox on the App Store.
And then, yeah. So it's just broken the App Store. Apparently Maps isn't supposed to work. I'd imagine weather will still work, technically. Or is it dead? Doesn't really matter. Location. Oh, no. Still works. Potentially. Assuming it's, it looks like, because it's updated. Let's just say bad. So, apparently it's, by the way, this is on 11.2.6 if I haven't said that already. So, what can you do? You can't install apps anymore. Well, the answer is actually, technically, theoretically, you can get apps directly from the App Store without side loading. You still need a computer though, which is problematic as not everyone has a computer on them these days. So imagine being a bit of like a tech literate person, and all of a sudden, the App Store stops working. Like, so you're just sort of stuck on these ancient versions of apps. Ridiculous. And they probably might not know how you're supposed to update. And yeah, it's quite ridiculous. But let's just say, even installing apps through iTunes is not optimal. So, first off, you need to be on iTunes 12.6.3 because the App Store functionality of iTunes was removed in 12.7. And on here, this is, just an iPhone 6. I hit install, and let's say also install Rogue Racing, why not? And hit apply. You've got to wait for it. Now, earlier it was actually struggling, it was really laggy, it kept on freezing. Now it seems to be fine with a question mark. Oh no, okay, it's not as bad as when I was doing it, attempting to do it earlier. So this might actually work. But I think calling this optimal is a massive stretch. And shall I make it quite clear that this is ridiculous? Why is it ridiculous? As I've said, maybe tech illiterate people might not know why their app store's just suddenly not working. They're unable to install updates for their apps. They're just stuck there. Another problem that makes it even more weird, the bit that's weird, is, look, this is an iPod Touch 3 on iOS 4. What functionality has it lost? I don't know. Still has the working app store if you have patience. It's been a bit slow, but I'll promise you, it's probably the 8 megs, isn't it? There we go. So, we've got working app store, except from, of course, it wants to be slow when it works. Look, see? I can install apps. I can't think of anything though that'd actually have a version. I could install road racing on here. It won't actually work, but I'll just show you it as an example eventually when it loads. Oh, I've already got it on here. I thought I uninstalled it. Oh, I've got to do my password. But I promise you it works. Okay? I promise you it works. What about the maps? Because they said they're killing off the maps functionality in iOS 11. Well, I can't retest it because this doesn't have maps installed. But let's go on here. Does maps work? Yes. Thank God it didn't show my current location. Cool. So it works. You know? What else? I don't know, maybe you want maybe your iTunes store, for example. I'm not actually sure if it actually works on iOS 4. It might not. You need patience. Oh yeah, it works, you know? What are Apple doing? They're killing off iOS 11 and they're keeping these still alive. That's what makes it weird. Now, I'm not necessarily against killing these old things. Well, I'll admit I would not like it, but I'd only absolutely think it was an absolute terrible idea if they killed off all the versions before iOS 11, because that would mean there'd be no way to install 32-bit apps apart from iTunes, which is just absolute inconvenience. And even then, maybe they'll kill off this. They'll block you from installing apps through this. You don't know. And one thing I do will say is Apple get praised for their compatibility. Or they keep their iPhone. It's not that. This iPhone 5S, it got supported for 5 years or whatever, and it still gets security updates. I can't really bend it, but shut up. No offense, maybe a bit of offense, but it's just not a good way to defend stuff. And then they're removing upgradability from devices. I mean, Apple's got rid of upgradable RAM. The only reason really why they haven't made an Apple Silicon M series Mac Pro, is quite simply because the last one, previous generation, had absurd upgradability. By the way, just to prove how much I hate iTunes, just look at it. It's not actually installed the update for Roblox. It's not even actually installed on here, to be fair. On here it is. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if we go on here. Oh yeah, also Apple Music. Well, storage, sorry about that. But look, they've removed the buttons, you saw it disappear just about. ridiculous. Of course, you know, you've got your local library still. Sync it using this horrible piece of software that just doesn't want to work. Now it's doing it over Wi-Fi, which is just even worse. You know. But at the end of the day, Apple have just gone too far, and you might think maybe, the excuse is, well, Apple didn't drop support for any devices on iOS 11, but the truth is, you're correct. That's a fact. You know, you can't deny facts because they're facts. Facts are real. But the thing is, let's say I updated this, I'd be on iOS 12.5.7, and the truth is the performance would probably not be that much different, and I'd have better app support and like screen time, and then I don't know, a new voice memos icon. Like, yeah, cool. So I wouldn't actually be losing that much by updating this. But what about this? This is an iPhone 6S. What would happen if I were to update this? Number one, I'd be on iOS 15.7.4, I believe. Was it 0.5? Was it 0.3? I'm pretty sure it's 0.4. Whatever, you get the point. It'll be on iOS 15.7 point something. And the performance would be significantly worse. I would get a lot better app support, but the truth is, how many of the apps that I'd want to use still work or are even on the latest version? Truth is, Twitter, it's a recent enough version, I'd say, because it's got alt text. Discord, latest version, although it's been broken on iOS 11 for a while. For a while, more like since like version 148. Roblox, latest, when I am able to update it, Telegram, same thing. This is the latest. Could run the latest. It's probably out of date, but I can't do anything because the App Store. Slide, latest. To be fair, it hasn't been updated in like 2 years, but whatever. YouTube, I mean, it's a bit out of date, but it's only been like 2 years or whatever. And at the end of the day, not much has changed really since, this version from like 2020 or like 2021 or something, So like, is it really worth the upgrade for slower performance and all of that? The truth is, no, not really. But yeah, let's just say iOS 11 has been sort of killed off. And also, I want to point out, even though this is iOS 11.4.1, which theoretically should be fine, it still doesn't connect to the store. But yeah, although I didn't get the warning, so maybe it was an accident. I don't know. Could have been nonsense and whatever. I think you've pretty much got the idea. It's just ridiculous. So, goodbye people. Bye.